Mike Mullen from MikeMullen.net. Tuesday, round 2 of the Charlotte NASCAR Media Tour. Last night we went over to Michael Waltrip's. Check things out. Michael's got a big place. Got a new lineup this year. It's a make or break it year, in my opinion, for Michael Waltrip. Been around 4 or 5 years as a car owner. Hasn't produced that well. Underperformed, I would say. Well, this year, he's added Mark Martin. You know, he's going to be a baseline, benchmark. He's added Clint Boyer. Feisty. Fired up. A lot of 5-hour energy drink, I think, in that boy. And he's got Martin Truex. Been over here a couple of years and hasn't really performed either, like he expected to. Well, the key is going to be Scott Miller, the new competition director. We talked to Scott last night. He said he was comfortable at Richard Childress's, where he was for so many years running things, but that Michael Waltrip and Rob Kaufman, Michael's partner in the business, made him an offer he couldn't refuse. The chance to turn around a team. Toyota needs to turn things around. They had engine problems last year. We talked with the Joe Gibbs operation yesterday. We talked with Kyle Busch, and we talked with Darian Grubb, the new crew chief over there for Denny Hamlin. We talked to Denny Hamlin. Talked to a lot of people at Joe Gibbs. Another Toyota operation. They're going to be working very closely with the Michael Waltrip operation, his sister operation, so to speak, and they both got a lot to do. Last year was a disaster for the Joe Gibbs operation, too, especially Denny Hamlin. Kyle Busch did win 4 races, but they blew a lot of engines. That's a sticky issue when you talk to Toyota people like Lee White, the competition director over there. This year, they've got a new engine operation, and why don't they ask for a new engine? They've got the oldest engine in NASCAR. Remember when Toyota came in, everybody wanted to copy their engine designs. Ford's got a brand new engine, top of the line if you ask me. Chevrolet's got a new engine, the R07, top of the line too. Dodge has Penske, and Penske's got Elmore. They're going to be a potent power. Toyota is 4th in the 4-man race in the engine department going into this year, and it got electronic fuel injection, a wild card. I'm not so fond of that thing. A lot of guys we talked to off the record, of course. Remember that fine that Brad Keselowski got, $50,000, a secret fine for criticizing the EFI systems. I'm not so sure that's going to be a good idea. I think there'll be a lot of unforeseen consequences of that. We'll have to see how things go. Lee White says he's going to give everybody until about May at Charlotte to show what they've got with the EFI systems. He seems to think the Ford and the Chevrolet systems are more attuned to EFI. And he says Penske with Elmore is always going to be dangerous. You know what Penske can do when he wants to get something done in the engine department. Plus, he's got A.J. Allmendinger, and he's got Keselowski. A couple of feisty guys out there on the racetrack. Could make things happen. Toyota? Well, we'll see what Darian Grubb has to say. He wasn't going to talk too much about the engines. Hey, he's the guy on the block right now. He says that the operation that Joe Gibbs has is fantastic. A lot of people. We talked to Greg Zipadelli, Tony Stewart's bunch now, after so many years at Joe Gibbs. He says the difference is pretty dramatic. Tony Stewart's got a small, lean, mean operation. Of course, they get a lot of stuff from the Rick Hendrick operation, so they don't need to have all those people. But Zippy says that the Joe Gibbs operation is mammoth, almost too big to be easy to use. Well, we'll see what Darian can do with that. He's been over at the Hendrick operation. He knows big. He knows how to deal with big. Remember those races he won, filling in with Jimmy Johnson? Well, he's good. Might have to prove himself, though. I tell you, 1 in 5 of the last 10 races last year. That's a hard act to try and follow. He's going to try it with Denny Hamlin, and Denny Hamlin says, hey, I'm always off to a slow start. Don't look for anything out of me for the first 5 or 6 races. Well, I don't know. I saw him at Daytona last year, and I think he probably should have won the race. But, you know that yellow line rule, you can't really tell how they're going to enforce it. That's what I like about this sport. Unpredictability. About time we had a little bit of that. Mike Mullen, round 2. On the way to Roush Fenway Racing today and see that new Ford 213 model. I think that's going to be a singer. From what I hear, NASCAR told the car makers, you guys get together and decide what you want, and as long as it's not too far out, we'll let you do it. And that's what they're doing for 213, but this is 212. They're all a year behind in my book. We need to pump this sport up and get things going, get people to the racetrack, give them something to talk about. Well, me? I've always got something to talk about. I'm Mike Mullen from MikeMullen.net. Round 2, the Charlotte Media Tour.